Chapter 2. The War of Currents. New York City, 1888. The morning light poured through the iron skeleton of the city like liquid fire. New York was waking up to a new century. Factories roared, smoke curled over the Hudson, and cables stretched across rooftops like veins of a living machine. Nikola Tesla walked alone through the din of Manhattan, coat collar turned up, eyes bright with an inward storm. In his mind, equations danced like phantoms, waves, rotations, oscillations. He wasn't walking to work, he was walking toward history. The break. 4 years had passed since Tesla first entered Edison's workshop. 4 years of promises, betrayals, and sleepless nights spent wiring dreams that weren't his. Edison had promised him $50,000 for redesigning his direct current generators, if you could make them more efficient, Edison had said with a grin. Tesla had done it. Edison had laughed. You don't understand American humor, Mr. Tesla. That day, Tesla quit. He took a job digging ditches for $2 a day to survive. But while his hands blistered, his mind soared. Every turn of the shovel echoed a rhythm, positive, negative, alternating, reversing, the heartbeat of alternating current. And on one storm-soaked night, alone in a boarding house lit by a single candle, he drew the diagram that would change the world. A rotating magnetic field, a system that could harness electricity to move itself endlessly and cleanly. The induction motor. He could almost hear it hum in his mind, steady, perfect, infinite. The investor. In 1888, Tesla found his salvation in a man named George Westinghouse. Westinghouse was everything Edison was not, calm, visionary, and generous. He'd made his fortune with railroad air brakes and saw in Tesla the next revolution. At their first meeting, Westinghouse listened silently as Tesla explained the mathematics of alternating current. Then, without a word, he reached into his jacket and placed a contract on the table. Mr. Tesla, he said, I'll give you $1 million for your patents and royalties on every horsepower generated. Tesla froze. No one had ever spoken to him like that, with belief. He took the pen. His hand trembled as he signed. That night he walked alone through the streets of Pittsburgh. The wind smelled of oil and iron. Above, lightning flickered through the clouds, silent, but watching. He felt it as though the sky itself approved. But across the country, Thomas Edison was reading the same news in his office, and when he saw Tesla's name, his face turned to stone. The smear campaign. By 1889, the newspapers were ablaze with the war of currents. Edison's direct current, DC, was already powering parts of Manhattan, but it was expensive, dangerous over distance, and inefficient. Tesla's alternating current, AC, backed by Westinghouse, threatened to make Edison's entire empire obsolete. So Edison fought back the only way he knew, through fear. He hired publicists, politicians, even doctors. He funded grisly demonstrations in city squares, electrocuting dogs, horses, even a circus elephant with AC power, calling it the deadly current. He even supported the creation of the electric chair, the first execution by electricity to prove his point. When reporters asked him what current would be used, Edison replied coldly, Westinghouse. Tesla was horrified. Electricity, he said in a rare interview, is meant to illuminate, not destroy. If we make it our weapon, we will doom the century before it begins. But the papers didn't print his words. They printed Edison's. The Fair of Wonders. The Chicago World's Fair of 1893 became the final battlefield. Edison's company bid to light it with DC power. Westinghouse, nearly bankrupt from Edison's smear campaign, promised Tesla's AC system for half the price. The committee laughed until Tesla himself appeared before them, carrying a single coil. He set it on the table, attached 2 wires, and flipped the switch. A sphere of blue light leapt into the air, humming gently, casting no shadow. The room fell silent. "Gentlemen," Tesla said softly, "this is the power of the future, and it hums in harmony with the universe." He got the contract. That night, when the fair opened, 200,000 bulbs burst into light at once. For the first time in history, an entire city was bathed in electric daylight. People gasped, wept, and fell silent. One man wrote in his diary, "It was as though the stars had descended to earth." From that moment, alternating current was unstoppable. The shadow in the crowd. But amid the sea of cheering faces, Tesla noticed a man standing perfectly still. Tall, narrow-faced, wearing a dark overcoat despite the summer heat. He wasn't clapping. He was watching Tesla. When Tesla turned his head, the man vanished into the crowd. He asked one of the engineers of the fair, who was that man by the main transformer? The engineer frowned. "No idea, but he wasn't on our staff." That night, Tesla returned to his hotel room and found his note disturbed. Papers slightly out of order, pencil missing. He felt a chill. Someone had been in his room. From the street below, a horse-drawn carriage lingered under the gaslight. Inside sat two men in suits, watching the glow from his window. One leaned forward, spoke quietly to the other. "Washington wants everything he builds. Everything."